Thank you. I'm proud to be a part of tonight's Hall of Fame ceremony and to present the 1999 Stonehill women's soccer team for induction to the Stonehill Athletic Hall of Fame. The 1999 women's soccer team entered the year full of promise, with an experienced squad that returned 9 starters for the previous season. Led by captains Kathleen Neff, Lindsay Pepler, and Erin Vrysen, the team won its first 13 matches of the season. If there was any doubt as to how special the season could be, it vanished when the team knocked off #2 nationally ranked Franklin Pierce at home, snapping the Ravens' 106-game New England regular season winning streak that dated back nearly 8 years. The wins continued, and Stonehill's national ranking grew to a program's best 4th after a 1-0 win over another regional power, Merrimack. After back-to-back losses, Stonehill regrouped and finished off a share of the NE10 regular season championship with a 3-0 win over St. Michael's. The team earned a spot in the NE10 semifinals and then a trip to the ECAC championships. 4 of Stonehill's 5 all-NE10 performers were named to the first team, with Lindsay Pepler earning Player of the Year honors and Kathleen Neff the conference's Goalkeeper of the Year. Head coach Jose Gomes earned Coach of the Year accolades as well. 5 team members were named All-New England, with 3 earning All-Region accolades. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'll introduce the members of the 1999 women's soccer team who are here with us tonight.
So if you could each come out as we introduce you. Head coach Jose Gomes. Team members, Rachel Adams, come on up. Stacy Arsenault. Adria Dennison. Courtney Fry. Lisa Giannis. Erin Gray. Jean Kearney. Allison Lindemark. Megan Litwin. Shayna Malatos. Beth Messenger. Tricia Miller. Jackie Knott. Erin Peterson. Lindsay Runke. Ashley Sanders. Becky Stafford. Julie Yankowskis. And the captains, Kathleen Neff, Lindsay Pepler, and Erin Vrysen. And please welcome now to make some remarks on the team's behalf, captains Lindsay Pepler, Erin Vrysen, and head coach Jose Gomes.
Hi. Thanks, everybody. My name is Lindsay Pepler. I watched my daughter, my oldest daughter, play her last soccer game of the season last weekend. She's 9. Today's her birthday. And her team hadn't won a game all season, and they never even scored a goal. And in the last game of the tournament, they finally scored and ended up winning 1-0. And the goal and the win were pretty awesome, but it was the attitude of the girls I admired the most. They loved being on a team together. I've had this perspective shift, as I'm sure a lot of my teammates have experienced, where we've gone from that passionate player to the screaming spectator. time gives you perspective. It was 20 years ago for this team. That's a long time to reflect about how lucky we were to play together and have that team experience here. We will always be connected to each other, and that's pretty special. So thank you to our team and our coaches and, of course, our screaming spectators out there. It's a great honor for us to receive such an award, making history as the first women's soccer team to be inducted into the Stonehill College Hall of Fame. Thank you.
So I'm Erin Vrysen, officially Erin Walls now. And just to build off what Pep said, this is such an exceptional group of women. Not only were we teammates, but we were friends. And that choice we made to spend time off the field together just built such a great rapport, level of respect and trust for each other that carried over onto the field. And we're so grateful for our lifelong friendships that we made. We couldn't have done it without our coaches, obviously. Kathy Brophy stepped in, really pushed and challenged us in some new and dynamic ways. Scott Dolan was a tremendous person in our lives. Sorry. Scott's not here tonight. He actually passed away this week after a courageous battle. I know on behalf of the entire team, we're very honored and feel lucky to be able to have called him our coach and our friend. And so I'd appreciate it if everyone would join me in a moment of reflection for Scott. Thank you. Last and certainly not least, our fearless leader, Jose. We put him through the ringer for sure. I can now recognize that this team specifically put those gray hairs on his head. From our practices, our pre-game rituals, from our choice and warm-up songs on our cassette tape that we listened to that was for locker room ears only. He endured it all for us and definitely made us better players, better people. We couldn't have accomplished what we did if it weren't for him. I also just want to call out, I don't know how other teams have fared in the past. Our entire team showed up tonight, except for one person. Her brother's getting married in New York, and so we gave her a pass. But I just think that speaks to the character of this team. We show up for each other when it matters. Tonight to celebrate each other's successes, and we did on the field 20 years ago together. So again, on behalf of the team, we're so thankful to our friends and our families and our coaches and everyone who supported us and turned us into the players that we were, and some of us still attempt to be. And thank you to Stonehill and the athletic department for investing in us and really for continuing to invest in the women's soccer program. It's so rewarding for all of us to see all the amazing accomplishments the team continues to have. So best of luck as you continue your season, and thank you so much for this recognition. One more quick thing. Since tonight is about us, I think it's now fair for Jose to acknowledge that we were his favorite team. And I'm very much looking forward to his induction into the Hall of Fame. I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming because he was remarkable for our team, for teams before us, and teams in the future. So without further ado, here's Jose.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate Junior for getting into the Hall of Fame, the NE10 Hall of Fame. Besides Junior, the other four inductees tonight, I got the pleasure, because I've been here like forever, of watching them play, and the passion that they brought to the game and the class was something that, you know, I'll never forget. So congratulations, Carissa, Butch, Jamal, and of course, Ed Cooley. Ed was one of those guys that I used to see him in the weight room, and this guy would be lifting. He had a bad back, but then I'd see all this 345 plates on each side, so I don't know if he was getting hurt because of lifting so much, or I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, congratulations, all of you. Before I say a few words regarding a very special team that I had a pleasure to coach, let me warn you that I do not have the greatest memory. Just ask my wife, she's over there. But when it comes to soccer, I have been accused of having a little bit of Rain Man in me. So bear with me a little bit here. I've been very lucky, both as a player and as a coach, to have been involved with some special teams. The 99 women's soccer team was special. Yes, Dean, the 90 team was special too. I know you wanted to hear that. I've coached teams that when things got tough, they found ways, they folded. This team performed better when the pressure was on. This team was special because they had a great balance. All the players understood their roles. They were very resilient and had a knack to step up whenever they needed in crucial times. In goal, Neff was the starter, but Ashley and Beth were ready whenever called on. Kathy played most of the minutes, but both Ashley and Beth participated in 13 of the games. Beth even scored a goal against Stick Your Post when I put her on the field. On defense, we had great balance and leadership. Courtney, Rachel, Jackie, Runtke, Adrian, V. All of them could play multiple positions in the back, which allowed us to match up against opponents, something that I always felt was key. That was just my thinking of coaching, that soccer wasn't 11 versus 11, was 11 one-on-one games. And if you won most of the confrontations, you won the game. And we did that a lot. In the midfield, we were 9 deep, probably the strength of our field. Stacy, Petey, Jean, Miller, Shayna, Meg, Allie, Gia, and Becky. They had a lot of quickness. They allowed us to play quick, put opponents under pressure, and the constant pressure. We do not beat a Franklin Pierce, and I'll talk in a few minutes about Franklin Pierce, if we don't have Gia and Becky playing the flanks. Simply, they like to spread you out, go outside. Well, those two girls prevented that from happening all game long. Up front, we had Holly, Gray, Julie, and Pep. Holly's not here tonight, as you heard. She's in New York for her brother's wedding tomorrow. I did talk to Holly yesterday. I did tell her, half-kiddingly, that you only get to the Hall of Fame once. Your brother might get married more times than once. She didn't buy into my thinking. But again, Holly, Gray, and Julie, they took turns throughout the season, make teams pay that decided to double and triple team Pep. All Pep did was score 21 goals. Scored 20 goals in 21 games. Before the game started, as a coach, I felt like I was up 1-0 already. For example, I'm just going to talk a couple of things about our season. But we started with 2 tough games. St. Rose and Southampton. St. Rose, we win 2-1. We have somebody come off the bench. Shayna Mulattos scores a goal late in the game. The next game, 0-0. Late in the game against LIU Southampton. And Gia and Pep scored, and we start 2-0. Dan Sullivan, which was a coach with me the prior years, but could not coach the year, we talk a lot. And I told him on that day, in one of our talks, that Dan, this team's can go 8-0. And Dan's words were, Jose, you know better than that. It doesn't happen in soccer. You're not. I says, listen, we have 2 tough games until we get to see Franklin Pierce, and they are Snoo, and they are Bryant. But we got them both at home. Well, make a long story short, we did get there, and we got to be 8-0. We had games like at Malloy, where Rachel, coming out of the back, scores a goal. It was a scrappy game, but gave us a 2-goal lead. We go to Snoo, 0-0 halftime. But Adria, Meg, Becky, and Pep score, we come out, and that's when I really started believing that this team was special. I can go on and on. Late second half goals against Brian by V and Pep. Goals by Julie and Courtney at Pace. Gio and Pep at Franklin Pierce. Julie's lone goal against Merrimack. Courtney and Pep overtime win at Bentley. And V at LIU Post. Megan Litwin on the 2-1 victory at New Haven. She scored in the 87th minute. This team just seemed to get it done when it needed to have it done. The 99 team, and I want to keep this short, but it will forever be remembered as the team that on a late September afternoon put a stop to Franklin Pierce's 106 game-winning streak. The one on the national champion Franklin Pierce 20-1. This wasn't a fluke. It was a good game, but we outshot them. We outplayed them on that Wednesday of September 29th. This was also the day that I was ready to strangle our announcer. On that day, Senior Associate Director Cindy McDonald did the announcing. And after welcoming the United Nations team from Bridge, New Hampshire, the undefeated Franklin Pierce, in her soft voice, her introduction to our team was something like this. And now, you're 8-0, undefeated Stonehill. And she mentioned 8-0, and I'm like, I'm trying to make sure Franklin Pierce had a tough ride to Stonehill. Keep them sleeping, be nice to them, don't. Well, 1 minute into the game, Franklin Pierce was up 1-0. So, Cindy's great, and I love her to death. But that day, I don't know. I didn't understand why we wanted to wake a sleeping giant. And again, I mentioned that unlike others, that performance probably is a signature for this team. But I thought we played a lot of tough games throughout the year, and just the way we kept coming up and producing, getting wins, figuring out a way to win was special. And like other sports, soccer is a cruel sport. Please understand that. In most sports, if you dominate, you win. Not necessarily in soccer. You can dominate games and still lose. Looking back at this team was as close as having a perfect season as any. We lost 3 games that year to Assumption, yet we outshot them 32-10 on those 3 games. Our other loss on that season was to a very good LIU Post team, and it was 1-1 in the 87th minute. So this team was definitely special. In fact, if I want to blame part of those losses, probably have to look back at an overtime win at Bentley, 2-1. We won in overtime, but something happened on that game. As deep as we were as a team, Allie Lindmark got a concussion and had to be carried off the field. I do not know what Allie's IQ is, but her soccer IQ, I can guarantee, was very high. And we definitely missed her big time the next 3 games. Looking back, this was a fun and easy team to coach. All I had to do was challenge them, keep raising the bar, and these young ladies just kept jumping over it. This was the smallest roster that I coached during my years as a head coach at Stonehill. So there's some truth to the saying that less is more. Lastly, I want to recognize the staff that worked with me. Kathy Brophy, that was, definitely helped me, definitely gave me another pair of eyes. Sully, that really was not part of the team, but I consulted with him all the time before and after games. He definitely was part of the foundation of this team. And Scott. Scott, for people that don't know him, he was a gentle giant. I never met in my life anyone more positive than him. We'd lose a game by 5, and you'd find the positive things out of it. Later on tonight, I'm sure I'm going to have a couple of Guinness. They're for you, Scott. Rest in peace, buddy. Last, I want to thank Stonehill for the opportunity to allow me to coach this team, for recognizing the accomplishments, and for inducting the 1999 women's soccer team into the Stonehill Hall of Fame. Thank you.